to find workers during harvest season. The fear of being taken by ICE agents is keeping away many migrant workers, and they're staying at home. I mean, a raid is literally happening as we are speaking, folks, in California. Last week, during a speech in Iowa, Donald Trump appeared willing to let farmers, quote, vouch for these workers. It was his latest overture that some undocumented immigrants might be allowed to stay in the United States. Well, his Agriculture Secretary, Brooke Rollins, she didn't get the memo from the president. She's saying everyone in the country illegally should be deported. But Rollins has a solution for the worker shortage, and it is tied to the tax bill Trump just signed into law.
Ultimately, the answer on this is automation, also some reform within the current governing structure. And then also, when you think about, there are 34 million able-bodied adults in our Medicaid program. There are plenty of workers in America.
So, as Symone noted, at this moment, live in Oxnard, California, there is an ICE raid taking place in which workers are being detained, and some have already been arrested, apparently. This is the plan of this administration. So I wanted to, as I knew we were going to have this conversation, I really wanted to sort of get in front of people. Who are we talking about? Who's the secretary talking about? 34 million able-bodied individuals. So let's break it down. According to, very reputable people who follow these things, like the Kaiser Family Foundation, who's actually on Medicaid? Well, 38% of the people on Medicaid of that number are children. 17% live in rural areas. 15% have 3 or more chronic conditions. Okay? But there's more. The foundation also finds that a majority, 70% of Medicaid adults are already working, America. They're already working. 30% are not working. Part-time, 26%. Full-time, 44%. And that 30% folks that are not working, guess what? They're not working because they have to care for other family members who otherwise don't get cared for. They have illness or disability. They have school attendance issues they've got to deal with because they're trying to better themselves even though they're living in poverty. It's amazing to me how they want to rebrand and reframe the storyline, Alicia, about human beings who are just trying to get through the damn day, who are just trying to care for a loved one, who are just trying to raise their families and have enough to deal with in that vein, and then layer on top of that being poor and having to find health care wherever they can get it. And this program is there for them. And so now this secretary wants to ship them off and put them in a field because she thinks they're able-bodied and should be working.
To do highly skilled labor. This is highly skilled labor. It is not easy what these ag workers do. Can we put back up the images we're watching out of Oxnard? Because I want to talk to the fact that you may see these folks in the field, and they are members of families, and we've not heard those stories yet. But every one of those people has either a kid or a loved one whose parent or aunt or uncle is not coming home tonight. So remember that, first and foremost. Second, to this question of those same individuals as labor, we are talking about half of America's farm workers who are undocumented. That could be upwards of 3 million people. The reason that Brooke Rollins, as the Secretary of Ag, is between and betwixt is because, on one hand, she has the agriculture industry, who she represents in the United States government, saying, ma'am, please understand, we are not going to be able to get people their fruits and their vegetables at the prices they are accustomed to if you deport 3 million people, half of our workforce. And at the same time, she works for a president who has promised to tackle the affordability crisis, who doesn't want to see the price of those fruits and those vegetables go up because he supposedly cares so much about the working class man and woman, but at the same time has made a promise to deport all these folks that runs in direct contrast to his original promise. So, of course she's confused because the needs of her base constituency and the needs of the president, who demands absolute fealty, are in direct competition.
Direct competition. You know, this is all just despicable, from what we are saying about people who are literally working, trying to make a living for their families. Those are the farm workers, to the people on Medicaid. It is just despicable. And I have never in my little young political life seen so much disdain for poor and working people from the government. And I have to ask, you know, if anybody in the room around that table should know better, it should be Vice President J.D. Vance. Didn't he come from Appalachia? Didn't he grow up there where J.D. Vance spent his summers in Jackson, Kentucky? There is one rural hospital under the bill that he broke the tie for to pass. That rural hospital is in danger of closing. Where I come from, we used to say, never forget the community that raised you. It looks to me that J.D. Vance did.
It is really something to take out two disenfranchised groups with one stone, but she has done it.